Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to talk to Monique about the subject of love, money, and pleasure, especially during these times when there is so much worry and fear around our economy. It is really important for us to ground in to our own magic and come together and create more abundance and love in this world. So, just one moment, I am going to get Monique on the call. Monique. Hello. It worked. Yay.
We
Thank
did it. We did it. We did it.
you, did.
Oh my gosh. That was a lot. That was a lot.
Um,
Okay.
thank you to everybody that has tuned in to the call. We are here. We are live on Instagram. I am more of a nature fairy, so this is new. And we got Monique.
It's kind of funny. Do you mind if I take over hosting? Because that was the plan and you weren't prepared for that.
Yes,
Okay. So
absolutely.
I shall hold the space and to have Samantha as a guest on her own Instagram channel. Well, welcome.
I feel
Okay, so hopefully everyone can hear us well. I think, and I have a tendency to do this, to like talk or start saying something over someone. I think it cancels each other out, so I will be careful not to do that.
okay.
Sometimes why do you have like a cool like thingamajig on yours? I want a cool thing. Can I be sparkly? Oh, what did it do to my face? That's weird. What filter did you put on yours? I like it.
Oh, the first one. It's like a flower.
Mine doesn't have a flower on the first one. Oh, it looks so weird. Anyways, okay.
That one looks
Um,
extra.
Ooh, filters are funny. It's funny how they show us different things, right? So like you have a flower, but I don't have that one apparently. Anyways, um, okay, no filter. Um, hmm, grounding into the space. Glad that the technology is working. I'm Monique Summerfield at Divine Shift Coaching, and I'm coming from Salt Spring Island, British Columbia, in Canada, and Samantha's in Australia right now. And I have am doing a gratitude challenge around money. So today is day 4, and I'm calling it I Love Money, 21 Days of Gratitude for Money. And this is all an experiment. It's all like in process. It's happening live as we speak. I write the videos, I write the emails the day of. It's 21 emails that are getting sent out, and I'm going live on social media and I'm sharing things, and like spirit is talking to me and old memories are coming up, and I'm just in the flow and being artistic, and nothing has to be perfect. And in the future, for any entrepreneurs out there, the plan is that I automate these emails and put them in the order that makes most sense, and then have some kind of like automated email thing to offer. But right now we're doing it by donation, which could be 0 or could be 44 Canadian dollars. And it's email sign up through my website. So Samantha and I have been friends for 7 years. I think it's about 7 years. And we're on her channel, so you know about her, but I'm going to read her bio anyways, because it deserves to be read. And what I love about being a woman and being young and just being ourselves is that you can't really tell like what people know. Like I've had this experience in the past where it's like, okay, if a woman is wearing a red suit, she's standing on a stage, then she's probably educated and she knows what she's talking about. Um, and I was told, like in university, like if you want people to listen to you, you better wear a red suit. Um,
I heard that
like
as well in marketing. My marketing
yeah,
manager wear red.
legit. And where there is some truth to that, we are also in a new age and we're allowed to look like what we look like. We're allowed to wear what we want to wear. My shirt says blitz. It's got colors on it. And and we don't have to look a certain way or sound a certain way. to be educated or to know what we're talking about. We both happen to have university under our belts, but you don't even need that. It's just, a purpose and a passion and experience, some kind of experience talking about what we're talking about. So Samantha's today, she's going to share personal experiences of money and abundance and flow around pleasure. And my background, what I focus on is gratitude, and I call myself a Christ mystic. I like talking about divine feminine, divine masculine, Holy Spirit, and like tuning into tuning into spirit. We have all these different words these days. I was in a 3-hour call. We were talking about plasma, like spirit and different heavenly beings is the vocabulary I use as like plasma. So let's get into it. Okay, so Samantha is a dance ritualist, a somatic facilitator, and a womb space holder from British Columbia, Canada. She's devoted to guiding women back into their wild, natural state of being and the deep wisdom of the womb. Her work weaves together a rich tapestry of practices, including breathwork, somatic exploration, elemental dance, tantra, moon cycle ritual, visualization, inner child work, and creative expression, and more. So, at the heart of Samantha's work is the facilitation of the body's innate intelligence, honoring authentic emotions as they rise, move, and dissolve. She is a certified yoga teacher, tantra practitioner, trauma-informed de-armoring specialist, and a nature moves dance facilitator, as well as a Lomi Lomi Hawaiian massage practitioner. She also holds an undergraduate degree in social sciences with a focus on the history of sexuality. And she is my friend, and I love her, and she's delightful, and I'm excited to have this conversation with you. So let's get into it. What are we talking about, Samantha?
And I just wanted to add a little bit of extra to the bio. I also am opening up to coaching. I coach men also around and in their bodies, and that's a new venture that I'm really excited about. It's about, healing the divide, and I'm very passionate about that. If you follow me lately, I want to help women, and I also want to help men because we belong together. Anyways, yeah. Thank you, Monique. Thank you for that warm welcome. And I'm really excited to talk about money, love, and pleasure. Um, because it really works. You can come from a place of lack. You can come from having like really intense belief systems, low self-esteem, and come from a family that doesn't have much, and start to see how changing your mindset and to reclaiming your own body and your own pleasure starts to transform your life into being more abundance and radiant. And that's essentially the story, part of the story of my life, coming from welfare, struggling art, dealing with a lot of mental health issues in my family, and me essentially having to take this torch of light and transforming those belief systems that I essentially was born into. Um,
Yeah.
so, there's other people that are amazing physicians, like Dr. Joe Dispenza talks a lot about your life through your brainwave mindset and your body. And I would recommend him as someone if you wanted to go deeper into this subject matter. But I really do believe that it is your mindset around how much abundance and money you can draw into yourself. It's like really how you feel about yourself, and what you desire and what you want. Like a lot of people, I think, have a negative association with money and abundance, and they think they need to work really hard, and they think that they're not worth it, or like, who am I? Or, there's just a lot of negativity around claiming what you want to create in your own life because of these stories that you were probably raised into. And I'll finish that last segment right now. I think like the underlying thing around money, it's not just around money, it's about feeling liberated enough to decide how you want to create your life. Like, I want these things and I have
Or shitty enough.
I deserve it. I'm worthy enough to have those things because we're so entrenched in belief systems that
Mhm.
repress us, that essentially like, no, you can't because you need to adhere to these other people. This hierarchy is
Yeah.
so ingrained in our ways of being. And I didn't even think I was going to say that.
I was just saying that sometimes you have to feel like shitty enough. Like you have to like get to some kind of bottom to be like, what the F? Like, do I deserve this? Like, why is this happening? Like, this is ridiculous. I won't accept this anymore. And then like realize, okay, there are other possibilities here.
Yeah, exactly. Um, personally, I I was always connected to nature, and I think that there's something godly in nature. There's something mystical. There's some type of transference of knowledge and of love and innocence. And so I felt really lucky as a young girl to always go to nature for wisdom, for security. Um, and when you're saying like hitting rock bottom, I think that we don't realize how often we are slightly like punishing ourselves,
Hmm.
or saying these thoughts that might not be life-giving, or these behaviors that aren't actually good for ourselves and our body. And I think it kind of is the process of healing those thoughts and healing how you treat your body. And this is where pleasure comes in, is that being like, oh, I feel joyful, I feel pleasure, I feel good. Then you're
Hmm.
expanding and connecting to more. And people find that attractive. And they're like, oh, I want what that girl has. And
Hmm.
then that is can correspond to money. Because then you're like, well, I this is my gift and I want to be doing this more, so I'm going to have this currency, which is money, which is just a transfer of energy to keep me doing what I love. And in my story, I had this like feeling and this knowing and this wisdom as a young child. And then there would be a lot of really painful and hurtful things that would happen in my family. So I felt a lot of this like repression, um, lack. I come from a family of creatives, of like black sheep, that were,
Outside the box.
pardon,
Outside the box.
outside the box, but had that creative force. Because when we're going to create money and we're going to create the life that we want, there is that creative essence, that adaptability, that ability to imagine,
Hmm.
and you know
Playfulness.
playfulness, and
Very,
but the
um,
the thing is, the program
very-
of you're not allowed, that's not serious, that won't work, you need to follow the same structure that was dealt to you before,
yeah.
is, I feel, can be smothering or closing or shutting down that light. that creative primordial essence, and like that where the abundance comes from, and ritualizing, and then starting to ritualize that inner knowing and seeing it start to transform in your outer reality, and really feel safe. I think that that's a big thing, is also because our safety and our security is often in relation to your family and relation to maybe these belief systems,
Hmm.
these structured belief systems that may be at odds with where you're going to get the abundance and creativity. So it's creating that safety within the repetition of like, oh my God, this is actually happening now. And personally, it was COVID for me, where I had a university, an undergrad degree. I took dance movement therapy. I was a yoga teacher, and I was already doing sessions on Salt Spring, doing circles. And COVID hit, and a voice said to me, like, you need to stop just studying. You're enough.
Yeah,
Know what you're doing.
to a
And I
lot
had
of people.
coaches that were connected to spirit that said the same thing. You have a good heart, you have a big heart, you know what you're doing. Like, start creating circles. And I had to start creating circles online. And then I would do them outside, and I was a little bit rebellious within distance, but like I'm like, people need to connect right now.
Hmm.
At one point, I had 30 people in my circle. And a part of that was also that I was spending 2 hours a day in my body meditating and clearing out all these negative thoughts and mustering that courage and that radical transformation within myself for my own life. Um, Coming from a girl that had very self-esteem and was picked on and traveled a lot and never had that stability or security. I created it myself. Um, so that's a little bit about my story. I don't know if you want to speak to any of that, Monique.
I want to say, as your friend who has been, we don't see each other often, but we always have this connection when we do. Um, Over the past 7 years, like we've seen each other in person at least once or twice a year, maybe more than that. Um, and I have seen a transformation. um, yeah, I think, how do I mean, so many of us have been going through transformations, but it can take any kind of turn. But I've just seen you getting filled with like more and more love and more groundedness, and it's been lovely to watch.
Oh, you.
Yeah.
And your transformation too, Monique. It's beautiful when people, when your friends are in different areas of the world, but they have a similar path, let's
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
and you see each other up leveling and transforming and transforming more in your own sense of love, and
And
ripples out, and it really does.
and we haven't grown apart, which is delightful. What was I gonna say? Um, I think we met through a creative circle online for the first time. We had a mutual friend, and then we were hosting like a art circle online together. So we sort of
Yeah,
came together over art and creativity
the
and
trick.
bringing community together. Yeah. So that's, I
That was,
remember like I was like, who is that girl? I like her.
yeah, that was one of the initiatives during the COVID times.
Yeah. Yeah.
So much creative abundance and growth that actually came from a lot of insecurity. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting we're having this talk right now because there's so much happening politically, as you all know. There's so much fear, and like there is so much real things out there to be fearful of. But also at the same time, it's so important for us to ground in to our own sense of safety and love and pleasure and say that we're enough and help each other.
Hmm.
You know, like this is the thing is that if creating abundance and creating money, you know, you may think, oh, that's this idea, oh, this is selfish. Oh, like who am I? Again, these like I feel like these thoughts are so common. But if you had more money and more power through love, you could give more. You could support. We could change these systems.
I think there's something very real in TV shows, not think, I know, in TV shows and movies and radio music, and it's constantly feeding into this idea that there's not enough, you're not enough, wealthy people are terrible people, poor people are good, kind people. Um, I know there's other storylines as well, and maybe that's just my bias, but it feels like that's out there a lot. Like I'm paying attention to it now when I watch TV shows. Like, oh, the bad person in this TV show is the wealthy neighbor, and you're like, oh, the bad person in this show is so and so, and it's around money, like the wealthy boss. Just like paying attention to the storylines. Like, oh, why is that? And then yeah, I just find it curious. Like, why is it so important that media constantly tell us that? Oh, is there a reason?
Sure. I wonder. Yeah, because they're creating a myth.
Yeah.
Our
Uh,
body and brain don't know the difference between a myth that we created, like when our mind, you know, your mind tells you a story. Let's say like you're still dealing with a trust issue and you're imagining, let's say, this guy or you know that you really like and you're like, oh yeah, but what if he like cheats on me or um you're locked or like you're just so scared of something and
mhm,
you're creating this story and then your whole body and you're going to, like is starting to close up
mhm,
and the heart closes up and then you're seeing things in your external reality that validate that belief system.
mhm.
And this is what we do.
And
So
you attract that fear, like in another person potentially.
so when, you know, I know that people question the woo woo, but now there is scientific proof along the lines of the woo woo. It's just that it's our emotions create the memories. Like we remember things that are tied with a heightened sense of emotion in our bodies.
Hmm.
And then we will repeat those stories because essentially our psyche is made up of memories but which are i.e. like belief structures.
Hmm.
So not going off into too much of this tangent, but just exactly what you're saying is that for definitely question what you're watching on TV and these narratives and see of like just ask yourself like do you want that narrative, like question, bring in that critical analysis of all these of what is being said out there and like is it for the good or is it for more of this feeling of lack and fear which essentially turns on your survival mechanism of your body. And then that closes your heart. And then you have a very narrow vision
Right.
of life, where when you come into the heart and you're like excited and expansive in your thoughts, then you're like, oh, of course. Oh, I have this new idea. Why don't we just try it? I have
Yeah.
friends. I I have there's plants out there. I can grow a garden. There's trees out there. There's all like life, life in nature is constantly creating, is constantly showing up. And we're no
Yes.
different. The difference is that we have like these really wildly imaginative brains.
And I think part of that, like, you know, going towards the money, which is the flow and the frequency and the currency and the pleasure, is like curiosity, which is something I talk about a lot. It's like be curious and be experimental. Like today, I had something different in my mind, and then I changed the plan, and then that also wasn't working, so I changed the plan, and that also wasn't working, and now here we are live on Instagram. So I had to like, go with the flow and be experimental and allow the awkwardness. And the more you do that, the less awkward it is. Like before, I probably would have like sweat through this t-shirt and this jacket and like had a little hissy fit, needed to like take a walk and cool off. But now I'm just like, here we are. Okay, no problem. And you also are curious and experimental and going with the flow. So it worked well together for the both of us. But that is such a big part of like new things happening, entrepreneurship, and inviting something different than what we have now, you know.
Exactly. We are like, every cell has this expansive creative force. We are, when you're born from this like this little seed, this little life force, like everything in life, your cells can regenerate with like oxygen and serotonin, and they can expand and divide. And this is always just happening.
We're magical.
We're so magical. And then I'm just like, where am I going with this? Let's bring it back with my thing, where it's like all these threads that come together. Um, but maybe for people that are watching right now, the practical ways that you can come from a place of low self-esteem, insecurity, struggling, lack, is I personally found was doing exercise, choosing that my choice for my life, as you said before, when things get so bad and you're like, I just need to choose me. I need to change this situation. It feels so dire. Um, there's this little voice that says you can do it. And through, oh, I just got shivers. And through the repetition of sitting on the yoga mat or doing a dance and looking and loving yourself, giving
Mm-hmm.
yourself a massage, and also going through the emotions of the grief, because emotions actually also were made of water and it clears out old stories.
Yeah.
Your like water is the biggest computer. So go through this motion of emotion, of feeling into things, questioning with that curiosity. I like curiosity more. Oh, why do I think this negative thing about myself? Where did that come from? Then
Mm-hmm.
being okay, I can have more compassion around this situation. I can have more compassion towards my father, my mother, for what they went through. But I can liberate and free myself from that old story. And then And then you'll notice at some point through this doing somatic exercises, breath work, yoga, dance, feeling the emotions, doing body scans, is that you will start to shed. And then you may get to a point where you're sitting in a meditation and you're feeling this just spaciousness, just peace. And then something bubbles up. And like something in that present moment is so truthful. And it's what brings you joy and excitement. For me, it was like, I remember sitting in meditation at one point and being like, I haven't done a massage in a while. And I miss it because I love touch and I love healing. And then I would get out of my meditation and I looked to my phone and somebody just messaged me, oh, are you free for a massage? And I was like, what the F? That's magic.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm getting at is that we can be so loaded, so our minds, our bodies, so much in a story that we need to clear the space in our own magical vessel to then be able to hear also other messages. May it be coming from our inner space, like, oh, this is actually what brings me joy and what I want to do. And then also then tap in to the collective and then follow that curiosity or that message if we decide. And that is the way I think of becoming magnetic and becoming loving and loving yourself and seeing how it's like there's love all over and there's creation and creativity. And then, those thoughts and those invasive negative patterns, they still come up for me. I'm still working through things, but I have a little bit more of control over my life and not letting them pretty much have me on the floor, like not being able to do anything because of this, like depression, for instance. Um, so, yeah, that is the practical way that I saw more money and abundance come into my life was through embodiment.
Girl.
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah, it's good. And I know both of us look good right now, and I put a little bit of makeup on, and this room looks nice, and whatever, these outside things, which are nice to have and make me happy too. But also, we're two people who, I'll speak for myself, like I've been, you know, bawling my eyes out and wondering what the actual frack, like how am I going to get through some stupid situations and having to say goodbye to people, having to say goodbye to things and ideas and um and just continually having to like not I don't I just was thinking about that like 90s like no fear. When I think of that, it makes me think of like jumping off cliffs foolishly or something. But um yeah, just not being afraid to be awkward. And I've really enjoyed like online marketing things that are very real and they're just like, just go live, like, okay, whatever, you might say the wrong thing, you might think you look strange that day. Yeah, it's weird looking at your face in camera. But just like practice and let yourself be awkward and get through the cringiness or the weirdness. And there really is a payout. And like for times when I've felt low and then I just, you know what? Fuck it. This is ridiculous. Like why am I taking everything so seriously? And then I just put on some music and then I just dance around my room and I just get into it and I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like, has this solved a problem in the moment? No, but also yes, like I feel better, so it solved a problem. Um,
But
and
like just right there, you are activating your love, your joy, part of your somatic system. Like I talk about the chakras, so this would be your heart. You're moving
mhm,
your body and you're being ridiculous and you're doing it for you. You're doing
yeah,
it for joy, for loving, like you love dance. And so that's the difference also between why am I being so serious? We need to
Hmm.
have goals and goals. Like there
Yeah.
needs to be some seriousness in like repetition and trying and practicing, which when you're going on to these videos and you're trying new things and you're feeling like that, awkwardness sometimes. But when you're getting to be, I'm very serious, that more or less a lot of the time the survival aspect of your being. And so for our viewers, it's like if you want to manifest more juju in your life, be playful, be silly,
Hmm. Hmm.
add joy, and also get to work, babies. Like it's like you need both.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of, because of the conditioning, because of maybe the social control programming, I don't know, but people look at some people judge people that are joyful, and they're just like, oh, we shouldn't take them seriously. They don't know all these things.
Hmm.
And it's like, I don't know. That doesn't make sense. Research doesn't even show that. Actually, when you're accessing more creativity in the brain, you
Hmm.
are expanding your brain. You're like, they say that played activity is actually really good for your brain and your body. So that doesn't flesh out. That doesn't make sense.
It's actually like when I see people sharing, and then I also have to like look at myself sometimes when I'm talking, like, what are you doing, Monique? It's too serious. But like when I hear people talking, it doesn't matter. We can all repeat the same wisdom words and keep saying the same thing that is logical and is correct, but if or like is life giving. But the reason that I keep listening to people on social media or yeah, it's social media usually or emails, whatever, is I'm like, are they doing this with like a joy and creativity? Because you can be saying like, we need to stockpile food because and you can be saying stuff and maybe there's some truth to it. Um, but if it's like so serious and if it's just like always in this fear direction, I'm just like, what are we doing? Why? Why? Like I need to see the joy. I've been hearing people say I follow Justin Paul Abraham online, and he's just like, heaven is joyful. So it's like, kids are laughing and being silly
Oh, I got
most of the time.
my
Yeah,
little,
and like heaven is joyful. Like
yeah.
God, source, creator, spirit is joyful. And so like this ridiculous idea that I've got different religious backgrounds and in my family and stuff, but this ridiculous idea that the man in the pulpit who is speaking like this and is telling you what to do and is saying all these intelligent words and reading directly from the Bible and has da da da, like, okay, like yes, I do have some respect for that person still because they have studied and they are dedicated and they are committed. Like, give honor where honor is due, but also heaven is joyful. So stop stop trying to give me this information in this really unjoyful, boring, constantly telling us that we're all terrible way, like I'm just like, no, I just can't. And if I see anyone online who's just like, if the vibe is off, it's like, vibe check, you're actually saying things that I believe, but I cannot listen to you because there's no peace, joy, groundedness, or like creativity or curiosity.
Yeah. I mean, I
That's
think
my
all
little rant.
broken down again. It can be broken down into these terms that everybody abides by, like science. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
just, you want more expansion, you want more life.
Mm-hmm.
We keep on moving forward and we're adaptive. We're humans. We come from like having these big brains and being adaptive species,
Yeah.
that it can't be linear. there and just serious and just this way that doesn't make sense. And I just, when you said that, I thought of in indigenous culture, the trickster is a shaman.
Mm.
So the high level in their culture, which is very connected to nature, is
Mhm.
the people that invite play or questioning things and making fun of it. Because you just did that. You're just like,
Right.
we're just, we're kind of jesting.
Yeah.
Those people were thought of as shamans. So a shaman being somebody that can see beyond, that can connect
Hmm.
beyond our individual experience.
Hmm.
Do a whole other talk with you on clowning and joy and shamanism. Uh,
Yes, we should do a talk just on that.
yeah, but
Sure.
it's like, again, this is your life, and as much as we need to put food on the table, and this is all about money, we've really talked about a lot about abundance, because
Hmm.
I think that money will come also from that feeling of joy and love and abundance. I think personally that's the most important thing. It's not about having all these big houses and having the most money. Some people in that category are still not happy. Um, but you will see that more abundance and money will come when you're coming from that place of being honest and playful and loving your life. Um,
I think when you like have to, some people call it quantum leap. I don't know what words were used in the past, but like if you if your parents weren't wealthy and you weren't raised with a certain mindset and you are wanting to go in a different direction, it's like there's certain things that you need to do that other people may not have had to do to get there because we all have a different storyline and different resources have. I mean, maybe resource is the wrong word, but we're all raised differently. And so it's like one person is just like, oh yeah, like this is what happens. Like I have no doubt because my parents did that, my family members did that, and that's just what I'll do. Um, and we all have that. I'm not financially rich at the moment, but it's like we all have this wealthiness. So I also have that in different ways that like I just grew up like, yeah, miracles happen, people are kind, like certain things I'm just like, yeah, that's what happened. Like that's just how it is. But if I also need to make new paths in my mind about different things, say money, for example, um, then it's like I've got to find out, how to transform these routes in my energy field and my brain. And it's like I got to be an investigator and go and find, okay, well that person's kind and they've got money. And that person's kind and ethical and they've got money. Okay, so now we're going to have to rewire this wealthy people or bad people situation.
well, that's
And
you're finding facts
yeah.
for essentially reprogramming from the opposite belief.
Hmm.
So, Joe Dispenza, like, okay, you can be like, oh, I want to be money, I want money, but you can have still this subconscious in your body and belief system that, yeah, but money's dirty and only crooks actually have money. So when you're going out there and being like, actually, wow, that person has a lot of money and is doing all these things for children. Oh, actually, that person is doing a lot for the environment and they work their butt off, and and they're also charismatic and kind of silly, and it's like you
Yeah.
what we do, we're researchers as well.
Yeah.
And you're finding evidence for the opposite. Personally for me it was big on trust. My thing, and it is about trusting relationships, like everything is relationships, trusting intimate relationships, trusting I'm going to be safe, you know, trusting myself and that I can create the life. But my key word was like, I'm like, I do not trust because of situations that happened. And then I actively look for examples that you can trust life. You
Right.
can, again. So,
So good, so good. I always love talking to you.
we talk forever.
So good. Right. We can go on, of course, but we're just going to stop. We're going to leave them hungry because there's so much more to say.
Stay tuned.
If you want to find and discover more about Samantha, this is her Instagram. Welcome. And if you want to find and discover more about me, sure, it's listed here somewhere, monique.divineshift. And Samantha offers workshops and sessions and circles. I also offer, I'm doing this 21-day gratitude for money, I love money challenge. That is listed in my bio. You can join via my website, divineshift.ca. And yeah, if you want a session around pleasure and money and abundance and moving old stories, Samantha or I, hit us up in the DMs. We love doing this. We love talking about this. We have transformed our own lives. We are transforming our own lives. It's happening in real time.
Well, sorry.
Wow, man.
I'm just gonna add two plugs for
Yes, please.
um I have a Playing with Your Inner Child workshop coming up on the
Hmm.
20th. So it's turned out that a lot of this conversation was about plate activity. So if you want to learn ways of like reparenting, so like feeling safe and feeling held, and also you want to connect to others and be silly and learn techniques on plate activity that can add more abundance in your life, join us. I'll be doing that with my co-facilitator Beam. So that's on the 20th and
Online.
April 20th.
That's online.
That's online. And then also for women, I am doing a 5 week series called Becoming Magnetic.
Hmm.
So that is about pleasure, power, and also reclaiming your energetic sovereignty. So a lot of my own path of coming back to my body, clearing out old stories, reclaiming my own pleasure, and seeing how that was attracting what I wanted in my life is what we're
Mhm.
going to. So yeah, if you feel called, uh, uh, I'll leave. I'll leave in the DMs. Sorry. I'll leave in the comments where you can find those events. And thank you so much, Monique, for having me on for this conversation. I love you, and
I'm giving you a hug. Aw.
okay,
All right. Love you, girl. We can talk on Facebook after this.
yeah. Ciao for now.
Everyone, thank you for listening.